good to be seen by 7 million people, but I could not have been more wrong. 'Cause Simon Cowell thinks I suck. Heidi Klum said I suck. The lady from Modern Family hates my guts. Howie Mandel didn't seem to like me, but he didn't hate me as much as Simon did. Simon Cowell really hated me. Well, I hate him too. Simon, fuck you. What the... Okay. I'll just take it from... What do you even do? Are you good at anything else besides being a fucking prick? Simon Cowell, is there anyone in your life who would say you're a real nice guy? Even your wife cannot pretend, because you used to be married to your friend until you had sex with her in their bed. I guess what I'm saying is you would not do well on a talent show, whether you were judged on your ability or your character, you talentless piece of shit. Heidi Klum, your fame has waned, your career has seen much better days. Lady from Modern Family, I don't even know your name. Howie Mandel, you were big in the 80s for putting a rubber glove on your face and blowing air into it. That's still the funniest thing you've ever done. Simon Cowell, you can go get fucked. Heidi Klum, I think you suck. Lady from Modern Family, I still don't even know your name. Howie Mandel, you can eat some shit. Take your rubber glove and choke on it. You haven't been remotely relevant since 1988. None of you have talent, so what the hell do you know? America's got more talent than the judges on that show. Thank you, good night. Welcome to Dustin's Vinyl. Here's your host, Dustin Chafin.
Yeah, Anthony Kapfer. Oh yeah. Woo! I like that song, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, at least you didn't take your time on America's Got Talent personal. You know what I mean? You didn't take it personal.
Oh, no, I'm not bitter about it. No.
I love that. You just kind of like, whatever, rolled it off. Wrote a song.
I couldn't help. I started writing that in the hotel right after the show. As soon as I got back.
Well, that's the thing with music. You can, it seems to like it's easier to do that with music, because it's like with stand up, it always comes off really strange when you talk about like the industry in a negative way or other comedians or whatnot. It just comes off like you're a psycho. But with a song, it's like, hey, with a melody, it's amazing what a melody will do. But
melody softens it. Yeah, it
just changes everything. It changes everything. It does. Because I had a bad experience on the last comic standing thing. And I remember, it was like, I was at Caroline's. It was in the middle of the afternoon. And it was like, I was just kind of groggy, whatever. And I remember I was headlining, and it was before they did all those like bringer headliner shows. Like it was a real headlining night. It was like a Thursday or whatever. And and then they were just like pretty much next. And then I just stopped. And this is before they had like comedian judges. And I just said, it was two producer guys, from the Tonight Show or whatever. And I told him, I said, have you guys ever done comedy? Have you ever grabbed a mic and done stand-up? They go, no, but we've done da 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 da. And I said, well, then you shouldn't be judging this. And I said, and then they flipped out and they were just like yelled at me, and it was a whole thing. And it was just like this horrible thing. And they went after me. They tried to take my show away from me at Broadway Comedy Club because Al knows one of the guys. It's like, you shouldn't have this guy running any shows at your club. And because his son read an article that I wrote, because I wrote a whole blog on it. And then, the son read it, and I basically was just like trashing them for doing it. And then after that, they actually started booking comedians to judge after that year. So I think I inspired them to get real people to judge it. But but anyway, that didn't go as well as your song. You know what I mean? Like,
you should have wrote a song.
I should have wrote a song.
Is it too late? We can write a song together. Yeah.
Well, the show's off the air, so I don't know if it's going to have much impact.
Wait, that's right. Last Comic Standing's it's not on anymore, huh?
Yeah, your show is one of the biggest shows of all time, so it's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot. The ratings are off the charts, so it's more poignant, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I haven't been recognized.
I mean, television is whatever. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's like, it matters. The thing is with television, it's like everybody freaks out about television, but it's like, I really feel in comedy, it's like, it's the quality of things. To me, if you're a comedian, you've never been on television unless you've done stand-up. Everything else is just whatever. It's not in the vein of it. So it's just another thing that is popular, and it's whatever, it's acting, it's different things. It's, you're on a radio show, you're on whatever, it's just, it needs to be stand up. And until it's that, and then your situation, it was like, you didn't get a chance. And I don't think, they give you a chance to do stand up really. You just you did your song, and
I did my song, but I did the whole song that night, but they didn't air the whole song. They just wanted to make me look like a dick.
Yeah, well, and then now you've learned a big lesson. If you don't like a show, don't try to be on it.
Well, I wasn't doing much.
You're doing it for the fame. You're doing it for the fame. I turned the show down.
What show?
And it was Zach Galifianakis and all these guys were on it. And it's called Apartment 2A or something. And it was on MTV. It's called Apartment 2A. And then it was the worst show I've ever seen in my life. And it was like basically comics trying to do their comedy. It was horrible. And then I said, nah. And then, of course, and then Zach became huge and all that stuff. But I just felt like it was, it just wasn't something I wanted to do. But I was okay with it. I don't think that was going to make me. But I mean, I thought I was going to be in Hangover 3, but it's okay. Anyway, it's a weird start. So that's the thing. Today, we're going to talk about, just diss tracks and tribute tracks, which the two opposites. One track is to take down somebody, for whatever reason. That reason might be politically, it might be artistically, might be somebody's girls involved. I don't know, but there's diss tracks out there. And then the tribute track is, somebody inspired you and somebody lifted your art and made you want to give props to that artist. And so let's bring in the other riffraff, and I'm sure they've got some bad experiences with television. Please make some noise for Adam Holtz and Jeffrey Paul, everybody. You ever turn anything down, Jeff?
I had to turn down. I don't turn anything down. But I do have, I was supposed to be in this movie called The Late Shift. It was it was the Mindy Kaling movie.
Okay.
She was, and she was like, she wound up becoming a writer on a comedy show. And I had auditioned, and they were going to cast me in the part of the MC at the club. And
nice.
The producer walked me to the elevator and told me, "You're great," and you nailed it. You nailed it. I get a call. Listen, they're gonna pass you on that part, but would you be interested in another part? Yeah, I'll be interested in any part in the movie as long as you give me a part in the movie. 45 minutes later, yeah, we're going to pass on you on that one too. Well, why did you call me the second time?
Yeah, people, it's the toughest. You have to have thick skin. This is to be an artist, right. Not a. Mm-hmm. And some of the dissing tracks and stuff. It's interesting because I feel like some of it is like forced, you know, like I feel like a lot of it is for it's always so funny when like somebody like Machine Gun Kelly becomes famous, you know, from basically just dissing on Eminem. And, you know, it's like if Eminem hadn't responded back, I don't think he would be the star he is today. And so, you know, that's one of those weird things where it's like he was coming at Eminem for God knows what reason. This guy's like a TikTok rapper. And then he comes at him. And then it's like Eminem finally responds and crushes him. And then the guy just becomes huge, but doesn't ever rap again. Just becomes a punk rock artist because we know that's easy. So he just starts picking up a guitar, and he's one of the biggest punk guys, and he sells out arenas. And
That
people
makes
don't
me
even
so
know
mad.
who freaking Black Flag is, but they go to Machine Gun Kelly. You know, they have no idea who any good bands are, but they, you know, they sell out and mosh around and think he's great. So that's what I'm saying. You got to be careful when you respond back. So I think, Anthony, you got to be careful. I think you're going to make Simon Cowell bigger, and Howie Mandel more
He's going to
famous.
start doing punk rock music after this.
Yeah, you know, you might have to. Well, if they respond back, I think that's
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that's the trajectory. Is that you get it back, and then you're like all over the place, and they can't stop talking about you. But how about you, Adam? You have any people diss you? Just besides your family, anybody else just diss you on a regular? Behind the scenes, you don't get it as much, right? Kind of
No, not as much.
Yeah.
Although you find when you let somebody go from a production or so, you definitely hear them call you an asshole, or you know, you get a lot of shit. And then you kind of dwell on it. You're like, why? Like, I thought I treated them well, but yeah, we get that. You know, I've had a lot of productions that have.
I love that somebody would call you an asshole. I love that because you're such a nice guy, but
Right.
so it makes you human. Because everybody always calls Anthony and I assholes, and Jeff, forget about it. But
So much.
you're a nice guy. So if they're calling
why-
you that,
That's why I
that's
don't
pretty
bother.
rare.
That's why I don't bother being nice to people. It doesn't matter what
Yeah,
you
we
do.
know,
they're
we
gonna-
know, we know. You don't have to tell us. We know. We understand. We understand, Anthony. Yeah. All right. Let's see. You know, it's funny. Some of the random pulls are actually albums you guys covered, so I'll wait on those. But I don't know. I think we did one of the. You know, I was thinking about some of the tracks that we didn't actually. They weren't like our own ones that we covered, but just a great diss track up top. I didn't realize this till recently that "Hollaback Girl" by you know, it wasn't No Doubt. It was Gwen
It was
on
Gwen
her own, right?
Stefani,
Gwen
yeah.
Stefani, yeah.
Yeah, on her own though, right?
On
It's
her
like
own,
her
solo.
solo
Mhm.
stuff. Yeah, Hollaback Girl is about Courtney Love. I guess called her a cheerleader basically, and said she wasn't good or something, and then she wrote a whole song as like cheerleader cheers, which is phenomenal. And the whole thing is just kind of like trashing Courtney Love, who just seems like such an awful person, you know,
Yep.
in the
Yeah.
realm of music. Just brought down so many people, and you know, all these things. But I just think that's, you know, it's pretty great because that song is like one of her best songs. And it's funny because sometimes sometimes you need venom to create art, you know. And
Yeah.
so I mean, Anthony, I mean, that's a great song. And it's like, if you hadn't had that experience, would you have that single, man?
Nope. No.
Probably not, right?
I might have something else that maybe that was better. Success. But the song, I love the song, you know.
Yeah. It is. It's a good song. It's good. Anyway, it's just, you know, did you guys, Adam, do you like that song? The Callback Girl? I think it's a good one.
Yeah, and it was just you know, when I threw it on this playlist, I put it into right in between two of our well, I guess we'll get into later, but two songs that were very, very opposite of Hollaback Girl. Hollaback Girl seemed very tame compared to the other two diss tracks that were there. But
well, Vaseline by Ice Cube. Oh wow! I mean, he goes in hard. I mean, literally, and just, you know, destroys. I didn't realize. I guess he hates Dre still. Is that a thing, or is that?
Well, I think that song came out right when he left NWA.
NWA.
Yeah,
So that
he
was-
mentions it in the
It was
song.
fresh. It was
And
pretty
so
fresh.
they're cool now. Is that?
I think so. I think Dre I mean, the song I'm going to talk about, Trash's Ice Cube also. And but then I guess the next year when they did Let It Ride, Let Me Ride or Let It Ride from the Chronic, Ice Cube was there with Dre. So I think they kind of buried the hatchet at that point.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like hip hop thrives in this kind of back and forth. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of what like built it,
Yeah.
Like this kind of the tension of the beefs. It just creates this whole kind of energy around the music. It makes people attracted to it, and then you're choosing sides, which is ridiculous that people choose like East Coast and a West. Like
right.
but it's so weird to me that you would do that in music, because not any other, like there's never like, oh man, I can't believe you like, Nashville country over Texas country. You know what I mean? Like it's just the fact that people would take a side over.
Though.
It should. That would be a funny beef. Yeah.
It should be over literally beef.
Oh, yes, beef. It would be sponsored by a beef company. But
Western beef.
I just think Western beef. I used to live by Western beef, right on Steinway. Astoria. Yeah, I don't think it's there anymore. It's shut down. Because people are eating more vegetables these days. Hard to keep a beef company. Am I right, Jeff? Hard to keep a beef company.
Beef company.
Wasn't there somebody on? Did somebody bust on Busta Rhymes on one of the tracks we had? I thought we had somebody bust on.
Yeah, on one of these tracks,
or maybe it was just something else. Anyway, I just random Busta Rhymes.
Oh yeah.
Oh okay, but easy. Okay, I just got a Busta Rhymes.
Oh, that's a good album. That Busta Rhymes
album.
That's a good one.
This is a good album. And then this has nothing to do with the show at all, but Father's Day's coming up. And so, I figured this is going to be one of those things. My dad's favorite song, House of the Rising Sun, was by The Animals. This is a really good greatest hits. And it was really funny. They played this song at his funeral, and it was like a Korean church, mostly Koreans, because he joined this weird church at the end, and this weird whatever religious thing, and they didn't know that it was what it was about, but it's about a brothel. So it's really funny to be in a Christian church at a funeral, and they're playing this song that's basically about prostitutes, and they don't speak English, so they don't know. So and I'm just laughing and crying at the same time, going, "This is about a brothel. It's hilarious." So anyway, but that was kind of funny. Woo! All right, you guys are a tough crowd today. I'm going to blame it on the feed.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, it's freezing a little bit.
It is. Yeah. It's the worst feed ever. And I blame Adam for all of it. I blame Adam for all of it. He was supposed to give us a perfect feed. You're lagging just, in general, but the video not so much.
no more than usual, Anthony.
Damn, you guys are roasting me.
It's a diss track.
We're doing a diss track.
Yeah, we're supposed to all diss each other. Well, I prefer the tribute segment, but
right.
I guess we'll diss, and then go positive. All right.
Sounds good.
We'll go. Let's go, Jeff. Yeah.
All right.
Jeff.
I picked something that I didn't think you guys would think I would pick, because I picked a song from Fleetwood Mac. I picked "Go Your Own Way." It's actually a breakup song. Yeah, there you go. Off of Rumors, written by Lindsey Buckingham, who I think is super underrated. When people talk about singers, songwriters, guitarists, voices, I mean, really unbelievably talented guy. But he writes this breakup song about Stevie Nicks. The lyrics of the song were actually intended just to be the beginning of a conversation with Stevie, in order to suggest to her that maybe move forward after the breakup. The music of the song was actually inspired by the Stones' "Street Fighting Man." When Lindsey wrote this, he wanted something that kind of like emulated that sound a little bit. But the line that really stands out, and this is, and I picked this line because Stevie had a real problem with it. She begged Lindsey to take it out of the song. Is the line is "Packing up, shacking up is all you really want to do." And then later on he says you can go your own way. She wanted that out of the song. Lindsey refused. Because he refused to do it, she she wrote her counter disc song "Dreams." Is about Lindsey Buckingham. But it's a song with a lot of pain, a lot of frustration. Think about playing those two mega hits on stage every night, and it's about each other and how much they went through. But at the end of the day, they make it through. They do it for the art. The band becomes wildly successful, and Rumors becomes one of the biggest albums of all time.
I'm proud of you, Jeff, for picking an album from a band you're not crazy about. Like, I think that's very Dustin, and I appreciate you taking that initiative to not just love the band. I think that's great. No, I mean, because that is one of the ultimate, diss tracks, and they're both so successful at it. Like the fact that one did one, it was huge, and the other did the other, and it was huge. I think that's really cool. I mean, not at this level at all, but dating a comedian, we both, sometimes we'll have a thing or whatever, and she'll go on stage and talk about me and have this thing about whatever and P-spot or whatever the heck I got going on, and then I'll talk about her or misophonia or whatever, and it's a beautiful thing when you have that to kind of take the argument or take the crazy stuff in the relationship to and make it something. So I don't know, I just think it's awesome. And I mean, the fact that they broke up and stayed together because they knew the magic was there, and that's what's mature about this band. The fact that they were doing that much cocaine, but they were able to still stay together and realize that it's worth it because of the magic that they were producing as artists.
Well, there was another couple in the band that was just as crazy too, mm-hmm. Christine McVie and John McVie.
Yeah, everybody was nuts. It was like just a crazy swapping and all kinds of stuff going on, and a lot of cocaine, and they still created good hits. I think it's one of the best cocaine albums of all time. And good. It's a lot of good songs on this. And then let's look at them. They look happy, Look at Coke. Look at that guy in the fro.
That's Lindsey Buckingham.
That's Buckingham?
Yeah.
I didn't realize he had a fro like that.
Pretty sweet fro.
Because when I saw him later, when I was a kid, it was the 80s. So he looked very, put together.
He pads down the fro. He shaves off the beard and mustache. He's a good-looking guy. He has good eyes. But great guitar stuff
chicks
too.
Again.
And his solo stuff is awesome.
That's Anthony's long lost.
Wait, I can see it. It's my uncle.
If they were casting this in a movie, you should go out for the part of Mick Fleetwood.
The lag is so funny today.
Yeah,
I'll say something and be and then I'll just get a laugh 40 seconds later. All right, very cool. Let's see. So let's see who's next. We'll go Anthony, or talk about it. Yeah. Talk about Fleetwood Mac.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. This song is fine. I grew up hearing it on the radio. It's a huge hit. It's fine. But you said Street Fighting Man. It was one of the musical influences.
Yeah.
I prefer.
Yeah, good.
I prefer that song.
It's not a contest.
Yeah.
He just wanted to write something that sounded kind of like
Jeff doesn't like it either. It's not about liking it. It's about do you think it's a good diss song? Does it work as a diss song? Not about do you personally love it. How do you feel as a diss song?
I think this one is kind of subtle because I never paid attention to the lyrics.
Really? You can go your own way, basically get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck.
That's kind of like a subtle dig.
Well, when I was a kid, and
Anthony,
I heard the song.
Go your own way, would you please?
Well, when I was a kid and I would hear the song, I kind of just thought it was about, going on your own path.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's almost motivational if you think about it like that. And I didn't really pay attention to the other lyrics.
You didn't know they were singing to each other. I think or about
I just thought it was
loving you seemed like the right thing to do, and then realized it really wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, to Anthony's credit, it's I think that does happen when you're kids, or it comes out and you don't realize, songs are about certain things. Well, do a segment on that. That'll be funny. What you
Yeah.
thought songs
No,
meant.
Revisiting
And then you just
songs.
and then it's just an adult. You're like, oh, that has nothing to do with what I thought it was. You know? And so that's about butt sex and whatever.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea when you're a kid.
Speaking
You're
of
just
butt sex,
hearing songs.
I didn't know anything. I didn't know Liberace was gay. I had no clue.
I mean, everybody was gay like that. Like, you know what I mean? Nobody, Elton John got married. Like nobody knew.
No
like
clue.
it was just,
No
was like
clue.
a rock star thing. Yeah. Nobody, Freddie Mercury, like everybody, when
No
they
clue.
first came out, nobody was like, pegging, like, well, pegging maybe, but they weren't saying it was like
Rob Halford.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Halford,
the funniest. That was the funniest because
He's dressed
it's
in,
like
in a gay S&M
that's so
outfit
funny.
every night. I had no clue. I was like, man, this fucking
the
greatest
music
guy ever.
itself. That's different because the music itself doesn't lend to thinking maybe. I mean, Elton John, you're like, all right, dude, he's wearing a duck outfit, and like you get after a while, he's dressed as Queen Mary. Like you're like, all right, dude.
I just thought he was a funny guy.
Yeah. I mean, it does come off like that, but Judas Priest is like one of the hardest bands when you're a kid, and just like breaking the law, like all that stuff. So to think that guy, came out like that is really, I don't know. I think it's funnier for some reason, not just because it just goes against what the music really is. I mean, Liberace,
and the whole scene,
that makes sense,
right? Especially the whole '80s scene was all about chicks and music and motorcycles and he was into motorcycles and music, but just not chicks.
And then it became kind of a fetish, motorcycle gay dudes. Didn't you see Police Academy? All right. What was it called? The Oyster Bar?
The Blue
Oyster Bar.
Is that why they're called Blue Oyster Cult?
Maybe. And then that was a little earlier, but then Sopranos. That was one of the funniest.
Oh, that's a great scene.
Yeah.
The greatest scene in the movie. It's a joke. It's a joke. I was kidding.
Vito, who knew? Vito, Gay Barker.
Based on a real character.
We love gay, so Comedy Hub. We love them. It is hilarious. And Adam, what do you think about this Fleetwood Mac? You like Fleetwood Mac? I seem like you are always humming them and stuff.
Yeah, I've
fighting against Jeff.
I've seen them. I've seen them a few times live also.
Oh, you have? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, even the last tour they did when they fully reunited. And it's interesting now. Once you know the whole history behind Rumors and just seeing them perform these songs on stage and just having to perform them every night. The B-side for Go Your Own Way is Silver Springs, which was Stevie Nicks', and we talked about on the show before, that was Stevie Nicks' rebuttal to Go Your Own Way. That was her take on the end of the relationship with Lindsey Buckingham. So you got the kind of double diss track, although, Rumors is pretty much just all diss tracks.
Yeah, it's great. I think Fleetwood Mac has the same problem the Eagles had, where they just got so much radio play that everybody was just like, God, dude,
yeah, that's the problem with the Eagles.
Oh, Eagles are talented.
Shit on the Eagles.
They're talented. He always uses the Eagles. He thinks he's Big Lebowski, if you listen, I like the Eagles. I don't have a problem with the Eagles, but in doses. I can't take the Eagles 24/7, but one greatest hits album and I'm good. But yeah, I think they got overplayed. I think this album is a phenomenal album, but you're just, after 9 times you hear it at Rite Aid, you're like, all right, dude. Right. I can't do it anymore. I think any music, that's the downfall of music, it gets played too much. But anyway, good album, good diss track. Anthony, if you ever watch like a documentary on them, on just all of them and like all the drama, it makes it more interesting. Same with the Eagles. I saw that documentary and I appreciated them a little bit more than I did before. I'd watched it. Just I don't know. Sometimes it takes a backstory sometimes to appreciate the band. You're not going to love them because you're punk or whatever, but you appreciate them, which I think helps. And then you can kind of see why the music was popular as opposed to just hating it for hating it. Everything worked. Like I thought that would change when I watched a Bruce Springsteen interview But it still didn't make me want to respond to the music as much as but it made me appreciate him more, like he was talking to Stern or something. But I don't know. I just think I don't know. Just get to know the bands a little bit more helps. I don't know, especially when you hate them.
Yeah.
Just, it gives you a reason not to be so angry at their music. But QQ. All right, what are we doing? We'll do Anthony next.
This is diss track. Okay. I picked Alanis Morrisette. You Ought to Know.
Oh shit! I got that album too.
You have the album on vinyl?
A good one, yeah.
It's a great off a Jagged Little Pill. Yeah, great album. Alanis Morissette has refused to confirm whether or not this song is about Dave Coulier from Full House, but they dated before she wrote the song, and Dave Coulier thinks the song is about him.
Of course he does.
He's like, cut it out. But I mean, I don't know. It's almost, even though he gets destroyed in this song, it's pretty cool that your diss track is like that. It was like the voice of a generation in the the 90s. It started a whole kind of music movement of women singers in the mid 90s, becoming more mainstream. And it's a great song, great album, I think. And the song is hilarious if you just visualize Dave Coulier's face over everything that she's saying in the
lyrics. When did she marry Ryan Reynolds? Was that before this, or
did she marry him or just date him?
Or just engaged or something? She was engaged to him, I think.
I think that was later.
Was it after this success?
Yeah, I think so. Wasn't it?
I don't know. We need a fact check on him.
I'm pretty sure she wasn't with him when this came out.
Okay. Yeah, I love this album. I own it. It's great. I was excited when I found it. Like, it's such a good, kind of solid piece of 90s music. It's you don't have to be a girl, you still feel it, you still have your own version of it in a male perspective, and everybody's broken your heart at some point. And it's just, it's kind of haunting and just very, I don't know, it's very touching, and but at the same time it kind of rocks. So
it does. It's got Flea on the bass. It's got Dave Navarro on guitar. Pretty great.
She knew what she was doing. Yeah, it's just good stuff. Jeff, you seem like you listen to this a lot and cry in the shower. Like, what?
I didn't cry in the shower. I wanted to date a girl like this. Is she perverted like me? Would you go down in the theater? Yes, please. I don't care how damaged she is. I'm dating this chick. Yeah, but it is so weird that this would be about Dave Coulier, because she's just, he seems like a pretty cool guy. I wouldn't mind hanging out with him, but she just seems off the charts cool. She's a rock star. She can sing. She does crazy shit in a movie theater. This just doesn't seem like a couple, but this is a really good diss track.
Mm-hmm. Didn't he do a lot of crack? And that was his thing? Was he
Coulier?
I don't think he did.
I don't know if he did crack.
That's what
he was on the most wholesome show in the world.
No, that was Jodie Sweetin from Full House.
Oh, see, I messed up all these shows.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
That's how rumors get started. Guys like me.
Didn't he smoke crack?
He do porn, and he was a beggar, and
was she a crack whore or something? I don't know.
Represent Trump. What? Okay. I'm mixing up shows. Okay.
Right.
What's this show?
That'd be a great mashup.
So what's Full House? This is the one he was on?
Full House, yeah.
And what's the one I was thinking of? With Joey.
I think you were just thinking of a different actor from Full House.
Yeah, because Jodie Sweetin was on Full House, and she was, she was addicted to crack or meth, and
She's the middle daughter, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the daughter was addicted to meth.
The
Right.
middle daughter,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Uh,
I don't know,
Stephanie.
man.
Yeah.
Stephanie.
I'm gonna fact check too because I think he did crack and he got her hooked on crack. That's what I think.
I never heard anything about crack with him. Isn't he like a clean comic?
Hey,
and he's like family.
I'm in sobriety, so I have the ends on all this stuff.
Oh,
I'm not going to argue with Dustin on this one.
I've been to a lot of celebrity meetings, if you know what I mean.
I kind of heard. I kind of have an idea. You could be right on this.
I am. He's a big crackhead.
Yeah. I think I kind of heard that a little bit too. I don't want to talk out of turn.
This is a
but,
horrible show. Like, what are we doing? It's all my fault.
It's about dissing.
We're dissing.
We just staying on the topic.
But if he was involved in crack cocaine, wouldn't that be in the song?
He wasn't into it yet.
Maybe
This
he wasn't
song
into
drove
it.
him
Maybe
over
he
the
was
edge.
hiding it. Maybe he was hiding it. I don't know. Who knows? Once she did the song, he's like, "Oh, this song is about me, and I don't have this cool chick anymore." Hey, sure, I'll smoke that pipe. You know what I mean? Maybe it was like that. He just like, it's like that's how I started doing crazy stuff. I'd be, heartbreak and dad stuff. And like, give it to me, I'll do it. Anyway, what a weird way to go. I'm sorry, guys, but he did crack. I'm pretty sure. I'll get the the official statement on that later.
More on that later.
I guess did you find it, Adam? Is he a crackhead? It's important.
No, but
these
I
are
found
the things our 6 listeners want to know.
Right. I found the Alanis and Ryan Reynolds stuff though.
And
Was he a crackhead?
what's the timeline? What's the timeline?
2002 is when they met, and they were engaged in 2004, and they broke it off a few years after that.
Okay, so
that's
this song it came out before.
So this is
Okay,
way
Anthony's
before.
right
This
on
is-
that.
10 years earlier, this album came out.
So Anthony's right about that, but I think I'm right about the crack. It's important that we're all right about something, and I think the crack cocaine I'm pretty right about. All right. Adam, you love this. I know you
here
love
we go.
this
We got
album.
what we got here. It says
We got
Dave
crack
Coulier-
confirmation.
Dave
This
Coulier reveals he is an alcoholic. Details addiction struggle, but that was last year that he.
okay.
Oh.
Us Weekly is the source.
Hey, Us Weekly's never wrong. They really. I
He
mean,
became an alcoholic because people accuse him of smoking crack.
Crack is the gateway drug to what do you call those? White Claws. Yeah, it's
Right.
If I could just remember that punch, that would have
That
been
would have been good.
But there's a lag on the show, so nobody is going to notice that.
Right. We could cut it close together.
Yeah, we'll cut it up real clean.
I can never remember White Claw, and I'm like, I said when you don't drink, you just don't remember these things. Hilarious. Adam, you're a big Alanis Morrisette guy.
Yeah, I saw her. What was it, I think last year? I think it was last year. I saw her
last year.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
over
fun.
at PNC. And I know she's touring again right now. She still sounds incredible. Has great stage presence, and this is a great diss track, and it's kind of one of those weird ones where I was thinking about it before. I'm like, she's got to perform this every night on stage. I mean, it's probably her most well-known song, and you figure now she's married, she's got kids, and at some point, does that song, take on kind of a different meaning, I guess. It's pretty specific. It's
Yeah. When you got kids and you're still going down on you in a movie theater,
right.
That's got to be a little weird. But it's what's sending those kids to college, so you kind of rationalize it for sure.
Actually, you know what? She made a ton of money when MP3s first became a thing. She invested. It was something with the royalties for this album. I think she had a bunch of stock in MP3s or something like that. She made millions. She didn't really need to have any follow-up success because she made so much money. I mean, she still has a career, but
yeah,
she didn't, I think she got to do whatever she wanted musically because it didn't really matter.
Jeff almost had that happen, but he invested in Betamax and it didn't quite work
I
out.
only would have seen the future. You know what? I saw the original of that tour that you went to, because that was Alanis Morrisette Garbage. And and that's when she came out with a second album.
That's a fun band. I think this album was hard to follow. Am I wrong on that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. She had two other big albums, but this by far was this was one of the biggest albums of the 90s.
What's a hit? What's a hit off the later albums? Like I don't.
Thank you was one of them.
Thank you. Oh, that's a good one.
Free.
That's a good one.
I think Uninvited was
Uninvited
the one.
With a different type of sound for her, but she had a couple. Hands Free of This was a great song.
But she just had so many big hits on this one. You Ought to Know, Ironic. You know,
it's a perfect album. It really is great. Yeah, she toured with a lot of people. She toured with the Rolling Stones, I think. That was a friend of mine, Megan Hanley. She was talking about it, how there was all these girls that went to see Rolling Stones just to see Alanis. And like it was just, and they were like, they could care less about the Stones, but they were so excited to see this, you know, this woman that was doing all this stuff. So it was relating to them. So it was great.
She's good. She has enough songs where she can really do a real good headlining set.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to compare artists, especially two female artists, but you know, I feel like I've seen Sheryl Crow, and I'm a big fan, but I would rather see Alanis. I feel like that would be more of a kind of a concert kind of get into kind of concert, because I saw Sheryl Crow and it was great. And it's kind of like, and some artists are really great, like Chris Stapleton's a phenomenal guy, but he kind of sits there, he doesn't really do much. And so it's like I feel like Sheryl Crow's kind of like that too. I mean, she'll try to kind of twirl around with the guitar or whatever, but I feel like Alanis, it has a little more kind of oomph to it. So I think you're singing
all
songs
over the place on stage.
Yeah, you know, it's not all I want to do. You know, it's not that kind of stuff. It's a different kind of like from the core of your soul.
Yeah.
And so I think whenever that's happening, you know, the concerts are a little more lively. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Just feel like. So yeah, Jeff, you love this album too. We all love this album. All right.
I love this album.
Great. Okay. Let's go, Adam.
All right. So I got something completely different, a different type of diss track. I went with Dr. Dre's Fuck With Dre Day off of 92's The Chronic.
Smoking crack.
Now this is an album I listened to a lot in high school when it came out. I think it was one of those albums. I wasn't really, you know, this was a different kind of rap that, you know, when it came out, I never was into NWA, but I got The Chronic off of I think it was a BMG or Columbia House, one of those deals, and there was just something about it that just stuck with me, and so for me, this was kind of my first, I think, the first time I really heard gangster rap, and you know, this was the second single off the album. The first one was Nothing But a G Thing, and this one is just, you know, a vicious takedown of primarily NWA, primarily Eazy-E, because you know, Dre was accusing him of cheating NWA artists, and you know, and they basically double team because it's Dre and it's Snoop Dogg on this, and it just, everything flows so well between the two of them. But besides Eazy-E, he also goes after Miami rapper Luke Campbell from 2 Live Crew. He goes after New York rapper Tim Dog, who had this song Fuck Compton, and he also goes after Ice Cube, and that's pretty much the whole back end of the song, where, you know, he talks about taking it back to his Chicago White Sox cap head, and you know, and it's just really you know, it's I mean, we could probably fill the whole show up with just doing the diss tracks between all the NWA members. And but yeah, this was a you know, a pretty crazy song. It was I think the bass line was taken from Parliament Funkadelic song Not Just Knee Deep, and then there was also a George Clinton song, Atomic Dog, in there. But yeah, this was a pretty crazy song, and in, you know, I was talking before about we were talking about Hollaback Girl. This we had this in the playlist lead into Hollaback Girl, and then you have Ice Cube's No Vaseline right afterwards. So that's what I was saying before. Like, Hollaback Girl seems so tame. It's like she's just calling. She's like, hey, I want to have a schoolyard fight. Meanwhile, Dre and Snoop are ready to gun everybody down, and you got Ice Cube ready to hang Easy and set him on fire.
Yeah, this song is terrifying, and that is the different in genres of music. Yeah,
right.
Like it just I mean, these guys go in hard, and some of them die. So it's like it's not even like a joke. Like a lot of it's like it's crazy. It's like, I mean, there's a rapper every day. It's like it's like going something off a track or something, whatever, some beef from back when or whatever. It is pretty crazy, that some of this music is taken so serious. And at the end of the day, it's like, dude, you guys are rich. Like, stop. You must be like, you can all afford the cars and the gold. Like, what are you doing? You almost want to be like, what? That's so petty, dude. You're like, and then you wonder how much of it is real and how much of it is forced and how much it is for your publicity. And because I think some of it happens that way and some of it, it happens in a real way. But, I don't know. Anthony surprisingly listens to quite a bit of hip hop on occasion. Yeah. So, what's your take on this, Anthony?
I love it. I mean, I think Dr. Dre doing a diss track. That's peak Dr. Dre. Sometimes his lyrics are not that interesting to me, but when he's doing a diss track, just nailing it. And I mean, it's a classic. The whole album. This is the Chronic album. I mean, changed hip hop.
Yep.
This was like the beginning of the popularity of the West Coast sound. Because it was all the East Coast sound was like the more mainstream kind of sound. So this was like pretty revolutionary.
So it's Jeff, as a former police officer, how do you feel about all this hip hop nonsense?
Well, I think that the song, I didn't think there was enough cursing on the song. I mean, I think that they used motherfucker as an adjective, as a noun, as a pronoun. They use it every which way you possibly can use motherfucker. But still, it sounds good. I mean, Snoop has one of those voices that are just kind of like infectious. It just kind of like flows. I agree with Dustin a lot on this. I think some of this is made up. Maybe it's. I don't know a lot about NWA. I know what I saw in the movie. I was more of a fan of Ice Cube when he came out, because I thought he was a little bit more hard and his music was more rock than it was hip hop, compared to Dre. But the song, I mean, after a while, it does get a little redundant with the cursing. It's like, okay, we get it, you're hardcore, but it's okay. I mean, this is fine. I mean, it's not for it's not targeted for me, but I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind it.
Yeah,
it gets boring after a while. It's like a comic who uses their punchlines like "fuck" all the time. It's like, okay, you can come up with something else.
Yeah, I mean,
it just has that punch though.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. It's like you don't have the struggle. I mean, these guys don't either. They're rich millionaires.
I have the struggle.
Not like
they
that.
They had the struggle at one point.
Yeah, I mean,
they can still tap into it.
Nobody's pulling you over because of that shirt. You know what I mean? Like, you're not getting pulled over because of something ridiculous. Where it's just like, that I could see where it comes from. The rage of being African American in this country. My God. But when they get rich, you're like, all right, dude, you don't have that problem as much. Like, you don't,
that's the way I feel. I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly the way I feel about Eminem. It's like, after you become rich millions of times over, how angry can you be, dude?
I mean, that's everybody, that's comedians.
Yeah.
That's art, it's like I like Chappelle before he got rich. I like Chris Rock before, like all these guys. It's like, all the bands I like it when they were just independent, barely making it bands. You know, when nobody knew who U2 was, they were great. And then when everybody knew who they were terrible. And so it's like, you know,
and they become corporate.
Yeah. You know, and forcing us on your iPod, your iPad and stuff, and freaking Apple Music.
No,
and
thanks,
like,
Bono.
I would love to
even
have
for
been in
free.
that meeting where like everybody's like just clueless about what's about to happen. You know, everybody's just thinking this is the greatest idea of all time. We're just gonna give everybody this album for free. They don't have to pay for it. And it's like, you know, there was like 20 guys that were excited about it, and then the next day people were like, "What the? I can't get this off my. What is happening?"
Yeah, they made it so you couldn't delete it.
It was just like we were just invaded by this track that this whole album, not even a track, a whole album. And it wasn't that great. And I've heard some people try to defend it. You know, I know John Fugel's saying he'll defend it, and I know certain guys that liked it, but because they're hardcore U2 fans. But anyway, I think so we needed somebody to have a beef with U2 so we can stop this madness. Maybe the Alarm, they didn't get their due. That would have been funny if the Alarm and U2 had a beef. I chose, probably one of the greatest Southern rock songs of all time. I'll say it, at least top 5, you know, as far as not a better beginning of any song, and in my opinion, far as a rock radio song. And I chose Lynryd Skynrd, Sweet Home Alabama. This is a great album. This album, top to bottom, fantastic album. Sweet Home Alabama. You know, this is this song was written kind of as kind of a diss track to Neil Young for his song Southern Man in Alabama, which is basically blaming the entire South for American slavery and a lot of other problems that were happening at the time, you know, with the mayor or the governor and all these things that were happening in Alabama. And but I, you know, as I was kind of reading up on it today, it was just like, you know, this is kind of one of those tracks that you know, really create a lot of controversy, a lot of people talking about it and stuff. But then you read a little bit about what the band was saying, and Ronnie Van Sant was saying that he said when they wrote it, they were kind of laughing about it. Like they didn't even know if they were going to release it or whatever. It was kind of like, it was kind of in light. It wasn't like coming out so aggressive like the hip hop stuff. It was more like, because they all love Neil Young. And so they were just kind of like, it was just kind of like, hey man, we're not all racist, you know, we're all kind of liberal minded people and stuff. And I get that, because I feel like everybody sums me up because I'm from Texas. And so a lot of people were coming at it. And right after the song came out, they were wearing Neil Young shirts on stage. And then towards the end, before the tragic, you know, plane crash, they were going to record a song together with Neil Young. They were all going to do a song and do some collaborations and stuff. But it's such a great song because it's like, it just kind of celebrates, you know, kind of the love of a place you're from, even though people hate it. And it is beautiful, and it does have some great things. And I just love the song. I think it's just, you know, one of the great Southern rock songs. And, you know, and then the line in there, you know, kind of calling out Neil Young about Nixon and like things like that. It's like your conscience bother you, and like, you know, kind of the hypocrisy of just going after. That's the thing. That's what's happening right now. Everybody thinks like, you know, because it's Oklahoma or it's whatever, all those people are idiots, and all these people are whatever because they don't believe what you believe. And so this song is kind of a, you know, a song that, I don't know, you could still embrace where you're from and maybe not believe all the bad things that are happening. And I just think it's just, in the end of the day, it's just a great Southern rock song. And it's if you don't turn this up when you're in your car, then I can't really be friends with you. It's kind of one of those songs. Anthony, what do you think about Sweet Home Alabama, baby?
Uh-oh.
Really?
I didn't know our friendship depended. No. I like it. I think it's I don't love everything that
I thought I was going to have to drive cross country for a second.
I don't love everything that Lynryd Skynrd does, but you know,
I don't either. It's a catchy little number.
It's an iconic song. I did not know this was a diss track. This is even more subtle of a diss track than
I mean, they say the guy's name. They say the guy's name. They don't say the names in the Fleetwood Mac song.
Neil Young still remembers a Southern man doesn't need you around anyhow.
Oh, I
Yeah,
never
they call
knew
him out
that.
pretty. They call him
Yep.
out pretty clearly.
I never knew they said his name in the song.
Yeah, they
I
say
didn't-
his name. Yeah, did you listen to this song? Are you being
I
a Jeff?
did. I
you
did.
listen to this song?
I never noticed them saying his name. I just thought that they loved Alabama and they were singing about it.
There's a little more to it. Jeff, give us some insight. I know you know all about this song.
Okay, yeah, I love this song. This is my favorite Lynryd Skynrd song, and this is one of the few bands I never got a chance to see. I will see them this summer. They're touring with ZZ Top, so I am looking. Listen, I don't
Wait,
care
ZZ
who's
Top
in
is still playing?
Yes, they are.
Oh
Okay.
man.
Yeah.
Well, Billy's still alive, and you know,
Yeah, so is
but-
Frank Beard.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go see both those bands. But I mean, I love Sweet Home Alabama. It is, you're right, great riff, great music. I love songs that embrace about where people are from. That's why I love the song Rocky Mountain High that John Denver wrote. I think it's one of the best songs written about something like that. But yeah, this is such a real good song. And then and they do reference Neil Young's song Ohio, Fully Dead in Ohio, Nixon's Coming,
Yeah.
They reference that, but this song has been sampled in other songs. I mean, I agree, man. If you don't like this song, then I don't know if we can go on a road trip, because this is
It's
It's a great road trip song.
a great road trip
We'll
song.
let you listen to the Eels, Anthony, but we're gonna crank this one up. We're gonna crank
You
it
know,
up, bro.
I would say
What about this song? And then right after this, you play Warren Zevon, Werewolves in
That's
London.
great. That's great. I'm
those are
into it.
great songs.
It's
I
like the
think-
same. It's almost the same song.
No, it's not. Well, I got a little bit. Yeah, I can say musically it is.
Yeah, I
But
mean, the riff
but,
is the
but
same.
lyrically, nothing like it. I think this and Simple Man are the two best Skynyrd songs. But this is my favorite.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's just a fun song.
It is a
song.
fun song.
Yeah,
It is.
Adam. Take us
I
home.
mean, just like Anthony, I up until I started listening to it closer, I had no idea it was really a diss track. I think it's just like I think I just got so enchanted by that riff that I'm just bobbing my head, just listening. They could be saying the most horrific stuff, but that riff is just so damn good.
It is such a great
It's
riff.
true.
But it is amazing. Yep.
And the
But definitely,
leads that
like-
they have, the double guitarists are unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a shame what happened in that band. They were so good.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just just a good song. But yeah, listen to it again. Listen to the Neil Young stuff. It's very interesting. And but they ended up creating a good friendship over it. But everybody thinks they hated each other at the time. But I think it was good for both of them, because both sides were kind of like supporting and all that stuff. So all right, so we'll do the tribute songs next week. But this was fun. It's like we're just sometimes people hate each other, but we can still make it an entertaining show. And that's what we do here on Dustin's Vinyl. Check us out. Hit our YouTube page and tell your friends about us. We could use your hits and your love. All right. See you guys later. Woo!